It is the 4th of July. Many people will be out barbecuing, hanging out with friends and family, and of course, taking advantage of this nice warm weather to go swimming. However, before you do head out to the pool, Western Mass News correspondent Gio Benitez has a look at how to keep your family safe.
It looks like any other summer pool party, young people splashing in the water, parents enjoying the barbecue. But somewhere in this pool, 5 different swimmers are about to simulate that they're drowning. And we're wondering if these moms and dads can spot them. Drowning can happen in just seconds, and it's often difficult to spot. It's happening to someone in this public pool right now. Can you spot it? There she is. Fortunately, a lifeguard spots her and makes the rescue. But it's in residential pools, where lifeguards usually aren't present, that the majority of drownings take place. Safety experts say part of the reason, distracted parents, talking on their phones, grilling, socializing, and supervising other children with no water watcher, a person with eyes on the water at all times. So we've invited this group of parents to a pool party, assigning them tasks like running that grill and, of course, tending to their own young kids. We've also added swimmers splashing in the pool, but those swimmers are actually trained lifeguards and swim instructors from Swim Gym Swim School, skilled in mimicking a drowning. The parents know they're here to learn about water safety with some sort of demonstration beginning in about an hour, but since drowning often happens when you least expect it, we begin right now. With cameras rolling, I watch from a garage just next to the pool, observing some parents checking the water, but mostly they're focused on their assignments and the party. And after 30 minutes,
there we go, she went under.
Our swim instructor, Kelly, begins simulating a drowning, struggling to keep her head above water, arms clawing for the surface, and just like the real thing, she barely makes a sound. Meanwhile, our guests seem not to notice. More than a minute goes by.
She's still struggling and nobody's looking. We're now looking at more than 2.5 minutes and still nobody notices a thing.
After more than 4 minutes, she simulates a worst-case scenario and stops moving. Remember, she's a trained professional and is just acting. Josh from the American Red Cross has been watching with us.
4.5 minutes, still no parent noticed anything.
Right.
Does that surprise you?
It does not.
Kelly goes back to swimming, and we cue another swimmer, and another, and another. All mimicking a drowning, but nobody steps in.
We don't realize how quickly these kind of things can go from just a fun pool party to an incident where someone needs help.
So now the kids are going to get out of the water, they're going to go get some snacks, and they're going to leave someone behind, and that person is going to start drowning.
After 30 seconds of purposeful struggling, this dad spots her.
You all right? Huh? Within 36 seconds, he noticed.
It's great that he noticed. We hope that they would notice faster.
He says in some cases, swimmers can submerge in just seconds, making them even more difficult to spot. It's time to reveal our experiment.
There were 4 drownings that nobody spotted. What's that make you think?
My kids were on the deck, so I turned my back. Doesn't mean there weren't other kids in the pool, though.
I got thrown off by the age.
Yeah.
So I think we took for granted that they all knew how to swim.
For the man who spotted our victim, it's too close to reality.
You were visibly shaken.
Yeah.
Why were you so nervous?
It did happen to my child.
His daughter Valentina survived, but he says when she was just 3, she began drowning in a hot tub. He was on the phone.
I got a phone call and I got distracted and she was in trouble. So that brought memories.
Water safety experts say one of the solutions is a water watcher, somebody standing next to the pool, free from distractions, constantly scanning the water for any signs of distress, rotating every 15 minutes to avoid losing focus. We show the parents what they missed.
This is that moment when she's motionless in the water. And this seems to be very emotional for you.
They're all our kids. What else do you say?
That was Gio Benitez reporting. So from pool safety to wearing sunscreen, how effective are your kids at applying sunscreen to themselves? We have the surprising answer after the break. Plus later we have a strawberry shortcake recipe for your 4th of July cookouts. We'll be right back. Putting on sunscreen is important no matter how long you'll be outside. However, how effective are your kids when they're left to apply it themselves? Western Mass News correspondent Becky Worley has the results of her experiment.
You know how kids feel about sunscreen? They hate it.
I don't want sunscreen on. I don't need it.
I get annoyed.
Sunscreen's icky. It's quite annoying.
But parents know it's a must. The American Academy of Dermatology says even one blistering childhood sunburn is a contributor to later life skin cancers. And while the CDC says children of all skin tones should wear sunscreen regularly, past research shows nearly 4 in 10 kids don't. Why? Well, I submit this reenactment from my daughter.
Put on sunscreen, Emmy. No, I don't want to put on sunscreen.
It's a battle.
That's what I get. Mom, stop!
But Holly Thagard, a former elementary school teacher and founder of her own sunscreen company, Supergoop, says there is an alternative.
If you're old enough to brush your teeth and wash your hands, you're old enough to do your own sunscreen.
Really? Okay, let's try. We're using a special camera fitted with a UV sensor. When sunscreen goes on, it shows up as black and highlights any missed spots. We start with 7 to 9-year-olds to see if their application is thorough. The kids put it on, then we review what they missed.
As each of these children applied, none of them hit the ears, and the ears are actually very vulnerable to sun damage.
Another frequent miss?
Children forget to apply it right on into the hairline.
And something all the younger kids struggled with, not using enough sunscreen.
Uh-oh. All right, come over here. What do you see?
I missed a lot of spots.
Holly says the younger kids are afraid of getting sunscreen in their mouth or eyes.
We're missing a few critical spots right around the eye area, which is often where sun damage is first detected from an aging and a skin cancer perspective.
And a study showed kids using just 1/4 of the amount of sunscreen needed to get the protection listed on the bottle. Moving up to the older group, the 11 to 12-year-olds were much more consistent. Devin used a lot of sunscreen, and so did Gus, also an 11-year-old who seemed to get the why.
I feel like I try to avoid it, but I shouldn't, because I know that having a grandpa who had skin cancer, so I shouldn't get it, I should try to prevent that. That's a lot, isn't it?
But Holly says he's doing it right.
Use enough to where you're applying it so that you can see it on your skin, and then rub it in until you can't see it.
All the kids said they learned a lot, and the takeaway, start them young, but kids 10 and under need a lot of coaching to get adequate protection.
And that was Becky Worley reporting. And coming up next on Better Western Mass, the best water toys for your kids as you head to the pools or the beaches this summer.
Better products now. Summer finally here, and everyone is going to want to play in the pool, maybe to the beach, and a lot of these toys that we have here, you can probably take with you to have some fun.
Yes, and all of them. Beach pool, the backyard, hose, you name it. This is water fun at its finest. And the first one here is this blow-up blaster.
A good way to cool off.
Yes, exactly. And it's actually the first of its kind because it's part inflatable, part water blaster, and even though it's 2 feet in length,
so
it's really
water
light.
gun.
Yes, it is. And so at the bottom here, you just fill it up with water and you sort of go and blast. But the cool thing is if you use it in the pool and you leave it open, continuous water.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah. So
and also, it'll float, which is good.
Exactly.
So that's cool.
Yeah, so it's a fun toy. I love that.
I love that.
So speaking of floats, so we have this H2O pop up. I love this thing. It's just one of my favorite hot things. Remember those swans?
I was
just
going to say this reminds me of all of those popular floats that you see nowadays, whether it be the swan or I always see a unicorn.
Yeah, exactly.
But
so
this
the new
one's
thing,
more fun.
This is hot for the summer. So this is sort of the pop floats. And what's cool about our llamas and the colors and the designs that you see here is what's in trend for the summer at the beach and at the pool.
I love how bright it is. And you can tell kids will just be drawn to this just because of the colors alone.
Exactly. And they have like a skull-shaped one, which is really fun. The llama one, which is of course my personal favorite because llamas are also like really big right now. By Swan, it's all about the llamas. So this is really cool. And this brand is actually pretty good. It floats really well. It has some extra heavy-duty plastic, so you're not going to get that deflated pool float that parents dread.
Nobody wants that.
Exactly.
You definitely want to be able to enjoy it while you're on the pool, right?
Exactly. And if you're at the beach or the playground, this one's really fun. So this is Ice Cream Shop Sand Bucket. So not only do kids have fun serving up some faux ice cream, but all this stuff turns into molds for the beach.
Oh, really?
So so this becomes, like a little sandcastle thing. You can just shift some sand. These can use from different molding, and then when you're all done, everything goes back inside, and you can take it with you.
So it's an easy way to travel, too.
Exactly.
It'll clean, so we like that.
Exactly. You want to have water fun, but you also want to make it easy cleanup.
Especially if you go to the beach and you're going back into the car. You never want to have too much stuff going on there.
Exactly, and all the little pieces.
I love this Barbie.
Yes.
Can you tell me more about it?
Exactly. Sparkle Lights, the mermaid Barbie.
Does her tail light up?
It does. So you sort of can press her here. When she goes in, she flips. I mean, you can sort of see it's beautiful. Yeah. But what I love about this, it actually looks like she's sort of flapping her fins.
She looks like a real mermaid.
Yeah, so which is what I love about it because it has that sort of realistic motion. It lights up. You can use it in the bathtub too.
Right.
So, it's good summer fun, but it's also year-round fun as well.
And something else you can take to the beach too. You don't have to just have it in the pool or at the house.
Exactly.
And we have, this is just the boxed version.
Exactly, yes.
But we put it to the test.
Yes,
we
exactly.
want them to play with it.
I know you want to play. Gotta have some water fun, right?
Exactly.
Water fun. Yeah.
We're here, right?
Exactly.
This looks like it would be maybe a disaster if I did it, but I think kids will really enjoy it because you put it, it's a hat, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you put it on, if it's adults, if it's adults,
yes. All right.
So it's not just for kids anymore. It's adults can have some fun too. So you just pull it. Yep.
Is it this way?
This way.
Okay.
Yep.
What's this this string hanging on?
So that's the key thing. So you would attach a water balloon to the front, which we're not doing here because we're inside.
Yeah, we definitely don't want to do that here.
And then if the water balloon's hanging, I'm just going to grab this from you.
Okay.
What you have to do is you have to flip the water balloon up into the center without touching the jagged edges, because if the water balloon touches the jagged edges, it'll pop. Yes. Okay. You're going to get soaked.
All right. Yeah. So this is maybe dangerous, but definitely a lot of fun.
Backyard barbecues. Yeah. So everyone loves that. It's one of those things you can kind of just throw in your car and be ready to go. And
a really neat idea too.
Yeah.
Like I would never think of this. We were saying before this was one of those YouTube stars.
Exactly. So Far Out Toys partnered with Ryan's Toy Reviews YouTube channel to come up with this, and it's a blast. It's one of the hot toys for the summer.
It's a cool toy. Yeah. That's for sure. I'll take it off now.
It'll keep you cool too.
Yeah. Right. How do you take this off?
Yeah. So just the Velcro, easy do, because I mean, obviously for kids and adults,
you'll need help from mom or dad with this one. All right,
it's super fun.
And last but not least,
so this is the Kiddo,
these are cool too.
Yeah, Kiddo origami color changing pool floats. You can use it for the bath. Obviously, you can use it at the beach. I actually love to use it at the beach because when it goes in cold water, it changes color. When it goes in hot water, it changes color. And when you're at the beach, and if you put it in the pool, it's kind of stays the same. But if you're at
Definitely.
the beach and you're in the ocean, which is always freezing,
Right.
it's going to be cold. And then you can go to a tide pool, and it's going to change colors. So it kind of teaches kids like temperature change, a little bit of science, as well as fun involved. And same thing with Barbie here.
Yeah.
It's something that you can use at a variety of different places. So, you know, after the beach fun, after the pool fun, now you can have bath time fun
We
too.
have a lot of different toys here that you can take to the beach, to the pool, even for bath time. Thank you so much.
Yes.
So make sure you stop by. Where do people get these toys?
The Toy Insider. We have all the reviews on how you can purchase them
We
at
love
different
that.
retailers. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
And happy playing in the water.
Exactly.